This is the 747 Global Supertanker, the largest firefighting airplane that ever operated on the planet. Sadly, in 2021, the airplane was retired due to financial reasons. 944 now flies with National Airlines as a freighter. The beauty of Flight Sim is that we can recreate those intense missions that the Supertanker flew, and with the new FS Fire add-on, it's the most realistic aerial firefighting I have ever experienced. We are on the ramp at McClellan in Sacramento, California, the base it would have operated out of while fighting Cali fires. And we have a fire to fight near the old mining town of Last Chance, California.
And welcome aboard the 747 Supertanker today. The real Supertanker will operate between 60 and 70,000 pounds of fuel. We have 79 on board here, so we have an extra 10 just because we can. We're not using the liquid system. We're going to be using the FS Fire system instead. Parking brake is set. Batteries are on. Standby power auto. Nav lights are on. External power is removed. We're on APU. IRS 1, 2, and 3 are set to nav. Plus tie switches are set to auto. Gen continuous switches are on. Hydraulic engine pumps 1 through 4 are on. Fuel crossfeed all are on. Anti-ice is off. Window heat is on. Yaw dampers are on. Outflow valves are open. Manual outflow valves are off. Cabin altitude auto norm. Packs 1, 2, and 3 are on. Left and right isolation valve open. Beacon over to both. Before start checklist, APU is on. APU Gen 1 and 2 are on. External power is disconnected. EECs are norm. Fuel control switches are cut. Fuel on board 79.9. Pumps in the wings are on. The center tanks are off. Fuel crossfeed set. Passenger signs are on. MCP set to V1 138. Heading 341. Altitude 3000. FMC pre-flight is completed. Doors and hatches all closed. APU bleed is on. Engine bleeds are on. Beacon light on. Exterior lights just navs. Now this airplane is basically a 747-400. It depends on the carrier and how we would do the engine start procedure. A lot of airlines had it where you can start 3 and 4 at the same time, then 1 and 2 at the same time, but today we're just gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn in 4, and we can introduce fuel. That's a good start on engine 4. Let's go ahead and start 3. Between 20 and 25, there we go. Set it to run. Good start on 3. Let's start engine number 2. And that's a good start on engine number 2. Let's start engine number 1, the final one. Before we go to engine starts, let's go ahead and turn off the APU. We don't need that anymore. APU bleed can come off as well. We do an ICAS recall. Make sure the spoilers are armed. Flight directors are on. Flaps will come over to 10 for takeoff. After start checklist, overhead is checked. ICAS and recall checked. APU off. Spoilers are armed, flight directors are on, flaps 10 to position, taxi light comes to the on position. We're ready to get on out of here. All right, let's give it a little bit of power here, and we'll start the taxi out. Should be a nice day for flying. It's been a little windy, especially when we get into the valleys. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that. This airplane, it's a very special airplane in its goal and its operation out here. There's an airplane over on its side over there. I don't know what that's about. No idea what that's about. But we're going to be flying this airplane at 150 knots today at flaps 30 while maneuvering. It's going to be absolutely wild. We're taxiing down to runway 34 right now. We're just going to make a left here onto Alpha, and this should take us down to the runway. Flight controls are free and correct. Anti-ice is going to be off. Auto throttle, we're going to arm that. VNAV, LNAV not required today. We're going to be making a turn out to the northeast to get up to the fire. Strobe lights, we'll turn those on, and landing lights, we'll turn those on as well. Transponders TARA above. All right, I'm going to make a right turn here on Hotel and hold short of runway 34. And we're not using any ATC today. We're just doing a demonstration of what the airplane is capable of doing. And sadly, if I was using Beyond ATC, I couldn't do VFR yet anyway. But hopefully that will change soon enough. All right, crosswind from the left-hand side, a little forward pressure here, bringing them on up. Let them stabilize. And toga. There we go. Takeoff thrust is set, 80 knots. Neutral here. Rotate. How's it brake? Gear up. Okay. We're in the air. We're going to go terrain mode on. If we can push it in in this turbulence. And we'll zoom out a little bit here. We'll start our way out to the northeast. We don't want to go higher than 3,000 here initially. All right, heading 055, 3,000 feet right now. We're just chilling at 210 knots. Flaps 1 for now, so we can keep best speed towards the fire. Looking at FS Fire over here, this is the map right here. You can see these are the fires we're going to be intercepting here. Under drop, we can use the FS Fire drop effect system. Today I'm doing unlimited drops, and we're doing red retardant for the first one. And I do have a button set up for that. Fires, this is where you can spawn the live fires that are going on in the real world right now, and then you can create custom fires like I did today. Props are really cool because you can go in and you can change out different props and set up an entire scenery if you wanted to. We could even have fire trucks up next to the fire if we wanted to. Missions, this is really cool. You have single player and multiplayer. I would love to do this with multiplayer and have a chase plane in front of me like in real life. That would be really, really cool. But you have a mission logbook here and achievements. There's a lot here to this app. For 15 bucks, I mean, I was pretty impressed with what I saw. And then we have multiplayer. This is how you do everything there. And then just info and instructions how to use the app. It's really cool stuff. All right, we have visual of the fire. This is going to get interesting. This is where I'm going to go ahead and we're going to bug in 150 on our speed here. So we need to slow down to 150. I had to jump up to 5,000 because of the mountains here, so that's something to remember. And before it gets crazy, we're going to do a double check on our altimeter. 3005, yep, there we go. Auto throttle is going to go to the off position, and so is the autopilot. I could have just hit the button, but that's okay. So that is the fire there on our left-hand side. So now we just have to slow the airplane down to 150 knots in the mountains. How insane is this? And it's in that ravine to my left there. So we're going to be operating here today with some retardant, and the coverage level is going to be crazy. So we are going to do everything we can to drop it right in front of the fire to prevent it from spreading. The winds are currently going to the northeast at about 15 knots here at this altitude. We're going to put in some more flap. There's 10 right there. We're just getting the airplane slowed up here and getting into a position where we can actually make a drop. But yeah, it's going to be wild here in just a few moments. The closer we get to that threshold in that envelope. So you're basically configuring this airplane for landing. One thing I want to double check is to make sure that speed brake is completely forward there. All right, 6,000 feet is fine right here for now. And we're gonna go flaps 30. And we're at about 150 here. We're gonna be hearing this landing gear thing. All right, so I went ahead and went into the audio and just turned the warnings off, because in the real airplane, you could shut that landing gear thing over and over again. You can shut that off, but here we cannot. So that is what we're dealing with. There's the fire right there. We're a little high on this approach, but I'm just trying to get my bearings on where we're gonna be making our first drop. And I think we're gonna come down to the left and then to the right is how we're gonna do our first one here. So be ready for that. Man, flying this on the motion rig is so wild. It really immerses you. Okay, flaps are 30. We are operating the throttles ourselves. Let's start turning this way. And we are going to be upwind, so we have to be a little shallow here on our turns. We can't be super steep. All right, yeah, I can see the fire over there now. And we want to prevent it from spreading, so we're going to be dropping all along this ridge here. That's what we're going to be doing for our first drop, at least. Okay, there's 140. Watch our speed here. There's the fires. Pull it back a little bit more. Yeah, this is going to be a crazy, crazy approach here. That nose down attitude. There we go. We're going to do our first drop right about here. There's the drop. Power on out of it. And roll off to the left. Add more power. Yeah, it's really cool when you watch these real pilots. You have the captain and the first officer. They will both have their hands on that throttle together. They hold hands when they're flying these missions, because you can see just how harrowing this actually is to do. All right, we're going to come in from the other way here and drop. And this one's going to be wild right through all of this smoke. I got to say, the wildfire smoke looks pretty good. That's pretty darn good. Let's be careful here. You see that mountain turbulence just throwing the airplane around. There's the fire down there. And then we're just going to hit the drop button. All right, getting ready to make another pass here. I'm gonna start slowing it down. And we're gonna trim this thing up a little bit more. There we go, like that. Maybe a little bit down. That's fine there. Watch our speed. And we're gonna start our turn to the right here. A little bit more speed than that. And hopefully we're making some progress on that. We can check in a minute. A little bit more power here. Okay, now we can see the valley there. And that wind is blowing straight at us right now. So we're actually going to drop pretty much right in front of this fire. Right through here. There's 150. We're almost to the smoke, and there's a drop. Get that power in there. Get out of this smoke as soon as we can. A little bit more power. It's like flying IFR. Okay, we're out of that. Nice. Looking at the FS fire map, you can see where we've made our drops here. Let's see if we made any. Yeah, we've extinguished about 50% of that one right there. Nice. 25% of that one. So we are making good drops. All right, we can see our fire. Let's pull this power back a little bit more. We're going to have to be a little more aggressive now. We're downwind, so we can really turn the airplane when we're downwind. More so than before. Yeah, this time we're going to come in down this way. Let's pull that power out and start that turn to the right. Let's let the wind carry us to that fire. And again, we're going to try to drop just in front of it on the east side of the fire. A little bit easy on that power. There we go. I can see exactly where I want to drop. Just to the right of this plume. A little bit more there. Have to be real careful here with the terrain. You can see that red terrain. More this way. Straighten it out. About right here and drop. There we go. Adding that power back in. Off to the right. This is where you want a lot of power on your turn. Because that is crazy, dude. To do this in a 7.4, it is so cool. Oh, I'm having a blast with this. But yeah, if you want to, you can make a setting in FS Fire where you have to go back to base to refill your retardant or your water that you have, if you want to do a water drop. But we're just using unlimited just so I can show you what it's like to actually do this. But can you imagine doing this in multiplayer, communicating with each other to knock these fires out? That is just something so cool, and I really want to do it. I do want to do some multiplayer for that. Let's pull our power back a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, the default missions of Fire in the sim with career mode and stuff, I mean, it's a little lackluster. This one, especially bringing real fires to the table, like what's actually going on, you can populate those and fight those. I think that's really, really cool. All right, there's the fire there. Made a good approach. This is pretty much the approach we've been using the whole time because I can see those trees there. And I've been using that as a visual cue before making that turn. There we go. We're still upwind, so we don't want to be too crazy on our bank angle. But yeah, I mean, just coming out here and doing this with some friends, that's what it's all about, man. These are the sort of things I like to see. Yeah, this valley's a little tricky getting in and out of because of the nature of this. We're pretty nose down through here, and we're a little fast. That's all right. Let's pull the nose up. Simply that airspeed off right on our drop here. So we're gonna go drop it. Add that power. Let's get into our climb. Get through that. Whew. That is terrifying, man. Watching my watching everything on the terrain radar. That is very important. That's why we have it running. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fires here. This one is 25. That one is 75%. We've almost got that one knocked down. 50%, and then 25. We just need to keep hitting it. That's the thing that would be cool, is that you do have two options. You know, you have the fire retardant itself, the red retardant, and then you have the water drops. The water drops what you use to actually put the fire out to cool it down. But the retardant prevents it from spreading, and especially with the option of having that wind involved in this equation, I think it'd be really cool if you could drop the retardant in front of it and it would stop it from spreading. I don't know if it's there or not. It doesn't say, and I looked in the documentation. But I'm going to shut up because this is going to be a crazy one here. Hold on to your butts. 150 looking good right here. And drop it. Power, power, power. There we go, to the left. Full speed. No CFIT today. No CFIT today. That was crazy close, man. You have to get aggressive with these fires. We are downwind, so we could really turn there at the last second. That worked out in our favor. Pull our power back now. All right, we're working this thing out. If you're new to aerial firefighting, you would have a little OV-10 Bronco or something in front of us here. You'd have a chase plane, basically, that will spit out some smoke where they want you to actually make the drop. So they are just in front of us, and we would be using them and following them on the approach. And they just little puff of smoke. And then we would make our drop right at the puff of smoke. So if you're wondering how you would coordinate on multiplayer, that's exactly how you would do it, especially if somebody was in a super tanker or something like that. Yeah, this is so much fun. That's the biggest thing. Ever since I installed it, I've just been playing this nonstop. Oh, watch our speed. We got way too fast there. A little bit more to the right. We're going to be right on our speed right by the time we get to that fire. There we go. All right, here. And you can see those flames are crazy right there. Get right on top of these flames. We got to put this thing out. I know we're escaping to the right here, so let's go and drop. Full speed. There's the mountain. We're good. Yeah. It's that intense. And with the wind, I love having the real world wind involved. I was doing some testing out at Mojave because there's some real fires out to the south of Mojave, and I was doing some tests, you know, to get used to this, to fly it, to learn this airplane. And the winds were like 20, 30 knots. It was insane. Like the amount of yoke movement you had to do to prevent this thing from rolling over on itself. It was not for the faint of heart. We've got to be so close to putting this entire fire out here, man. So close. All right. And we're gonna drop it. Full speed to the right. And in the climb. About right here. It's literally cheating death over and over again. There's 5,000 feet that we had set as just a minimum kind of safe altitude I give myself there, so I could remind myself where I need to be for these approaches. But yeah, that is just wild stuff, man. We have knocked one of the fires out completely. There were 4. So we have this one, which is at 25. We have that 50% on that one, and then we have this one at 50%. So we just need to keep hitting it. All right, we have a co-pilot on board here, Luna. She does not mind the motion rig at all. She's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm just happy to be here. Get ready, Luna. We're gonna be making another drop here shortly. Let's pull our power back. I'm searching for it. Yeah, she does not care at all that we're getting tossed around on this motion platform. She's just like, we're fighting fires today? Cool. Okay, nice and easy here. Real close to these trees. And lining out. Pull back a little bit more, a little fast. A little fast. Yeah, look at that fire down there, man. That thing has spread like crazy. That's the reason why we're trying to get it out as soon as we possibly can, because, yeah, that spread is real. All right, a little to the left here down this valley. And get ready, drop. Getting the climb, getting the climb. There we go. All right. All right, Luna, thank you for the help there. I think you're going to have to go because I need to concentrate to finish this out. All right. We're going to try to get this north fire taken care of here. I think we can get it if we just line this up right and hit the smoke. Right about here in this smoke drop. Out of it, valley to the right. I have been memorizing this valley too. That's really helping out. Let's watch out on our speed. You can distinctly see two fires right there. So let's try to line up this way. I'm going to go into this valley, but we're going to try to get a little lower this time. I'm thinking perhaps we need to get that retardant a lot lower to the ground. That might be why we are not getting these fires put out. Let's pull that power. Let it kind of slide into this canyon. We are downwind, so we can really crank that. Turn. There we go. Be ready on the power in a moment. There we go. It's going to be right at 150 when we get to the fire. There's the fire right down there. A little bit of power here. There, we're good. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. A little bit more. And drop. Full power. So now we have to get out of this canyon. Like this. There we go. To the left. Oh, man, that is so harrowing. That is so crazy. All right, I think we got a good drop on that one, I'm hoping. If we didn't, it's okay. We're going to head back to the airport and, you know, we did everything we could on our end to help fight this fire, and we've done a pretty good job of that. All right, they're saying that it's only 50% on that one and 50% on that one, so we're going to cut our losses here, head back to McClellan. So let's go ahead and add power here, start speeding the airplane up, bring our flaps to 25, and don't just pull all your flaps out. That's a bad idea. You want to do it nice and easy as you increase your airspeed as we get out of here. There we go, bring it on up to 10. That'll work. By the way, you cannot select the off position on this landing gear. It is not modeled in this airplane. Descent checklist, FMC is programmed, recall is checked, auto brake 1 is set, anti-ice is off, altimeters are checked, 299er6, landing lights are on, passenger signs are on. Descent checklist complete. All right, we're joining a right downwind, runway 34, down to 2,200 feet. We're at 210 knots right now. We're gonna go flaps 10, and then we're going to set up for a landing here. We have an airplane at our 1 o'clock low. He's about 2,200 lower than us. Might be a helicopter or something like that. All right, remember that flaps are gonna be 30, 124 is what we're looking for on VREF. Auto throttle's coming off my throttles. Start slowing it down a little bit here. And we can go ahead and drop our gear. And we're going to be configured to land here. Speed brakes armed. We're looking good here. Turning final now. All right, 3 white, 1 red. That's what you want with a 7.4. We're looking good here on final. Flaps are 30, gears down, 3 green. Speed brakes are armed. Cleared to land. Ooh, nice and easy. Ballooned a little bit there when I added that power. long runway, got plenty of runway here. It feels like that PAPI light's off just a tad, if you ask me. But we're going to go with that. Coming over that building. All right. Yeah, that PAPI light's way off. Okay. And we're down, just like that. Reverses out. I was like, where's my callouts? Oh yeah, I remember I, removed all those sounds. So we didn't have to get the landing gear warning the whole time. Hey, we made it back to McClellan. We'll make this turn no problem here. That was one hell of a flight. I've just been having an absolute blast doing firefighting. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more firefighting. We can still use the CL-415 and some other, even the scoop airplanes would be a lot of fun to do, including the CL-415, but you know what I mean. All right. Landing lights are off. Strobe light is off. Transponder over to standby. Flaps are up. Auto brake is off. Anti-ice is off. Let's go ahead and start the APU right here. Go 1, 2, 3, and start. There we go. And taxi into the ramp here. All right, parking brake is set. Let's shut the engines down. We're on the APU power. I do have the APU bleed set to on. Beacon light is off. Let's get those engine bleeds off as well. Let's turn all these hydraulic pumps off. All the fuel pumps come off. Every single one of these. There we go. We turn the packs off as well. IRS is to the off position. Standby power is off. And parking checklist. Exterior lights are off. Parking brake is set. We're on the chocks. Passenger signs are off. Engine bleeds are off. Fuel control is set to cut off. Hydraulic pumps are off. Fuel pumps are off. Packs are off. APU is on. IRS is off. Standby power is off. And battery, we can just shut that off when we want to. But that is parking checklist complete. I had such a blast showing you what the Global Supertanker is all about. FS Fire, what a cool program this is. I really, really have been enjoying this, and I'm going to start diving into these missions and seeing what those are all about. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.